Today we're going to be talking about the cognitive biases and give an example of each of them and explain them. So the first bias that is talked about in our chapter is the prior hypothesis bias. And this is basically where people rely too heavily on their pre-existing beliefs or assumptions, even whenever they're like shown otherwise. Um, so a personal example of this would be I think for a while or just some time, I always at least heard that Diet Coke or like diet products like that um, were more harmful than their full sugar versions. And then um, and then I can believe that for a long time, even though that there's been enough research and studies to show that they're actually better for you if you're trying to lose weight because you're not getting the same amount of calories, but you still get that sweet um, fix that you're looking for. And then the next bias is the representativeness bias, and that would be this is the tendency to make or generalize from a small group of samples. So an example of this would be that I would think that all sports athletes or celebrities are like the most confident people in the world and that they don't have any flaws or any issues because that's what you see is you only get to have that small sample of um, their public life like that, but then in reality that everyone has flaws and issues and there's normal people, but you just don't get to see that from a large um, perspective. You only get to see what they tell you and what they show you. The next bias is illusion of control. Um, so this means that people overestimate their ability to control outcomes, even if it's like in a random event. And a situation where this would happen would be like for me, for like if I was playing basketball and you shoot the shot, you're kind of like almost leaning your body in a way, like trying to like make it go in or go more left or go more right, and that can be kind of like you think you're controlling the ball, but you're really not. So it's like you overestimate your ability to control something, even though you have no control over it. And then next is the escalation of commitment, or that you're like too involved um, in something. So this bias happens when you continue to invest in something that's failing, um, but you feel a sense of responsibility since you put so much time and effort in the past into this item, um, despite even hearing that it's not going to end up well. You still continue to work at it and put all your time and energy into it. An example of this for me would be I have a video game controller and I've had it for probably like 6 years now, but I refuse to get a new one. So I just keep on replacing parts and everything, um, just because I feel like if I buy a new one, then this one's a waste now because I already put so much time and energy into it. Even though it is having issues, I still feel like I could fix it or prevent it from getting any worse. So those are the four types of biases and an example from each of them.